Hey everyone, this is Robin Graves, and this is the World According to Graves. Yes, World According to Graves. I had to make sure I do so many different things here. First off, I want to say Mike, Deja Vu, very good movie. I am a huge fan of Denzel Washington. Um, Talk about sci-fi. A police movie with a sci-fi twist. I recommend it. It is an amazing story. Wow, and I received a crapload of Pepsi products today. Connection? No. Just found a really good place. Very good prices. We'll get to them in a later show. I need to talk to them about a possible deal. But here's one of my favorite sounds. Listen up. Love that sound. Little sippage here. I have a problem. Well, rather had a problem. Um, am I going to do a show about A or B? I had a hard time deciding, uh, especially after this morning. Um, I wanted for a few things to develop, and wow, did they ever develop? So, um, I actually had to get information today from a friend of mine, a professional friend of mine in law enforcement. I had to wait for an attorney to get a hold of them, get some information from them. And I'm trying sitting there trying to figure out which one to do. Which one to do, flip coins. Nope, let's flip it again. 2 out of 3. I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do both. I can keep these within the time parameters. Um, First off, there has been some really nasty things been going on. Um, it seems that a certain couple of social media networks or platforms, platforms, have been pretty much fact checking everybody, even though we fact check them, find out their fact checkers are wrong. They're all pretty much CNN, MSNBC on fact checking for both Twitter and Facebook, which, from purposes of simplicity, we'll refer to both of them as Twitface. Okay. Now, those of you who've known me for a number of years or for a while will know that I used to do a lot of rants on Twitface. Let's get this going. Out of my way. Windows 10. Let me get comfortable here because this is going to be little odd. Oh, yes. Be nice. Anyway, as we know, I have been banned so many times on Facebook. Uh, I think I have a record being out of Facebook jail for 45 minutes and for right back in. In fact, if you look, there is a video of me responding to Facebook banning me because I told the truth. I'm not going to bullshit you people. I don't sit here and profess to like one president or another just because of party. Um, I don't like Trump as a human being, but I do like what he did for this country so far. I do like the fact that he's uh, helped this country more in more ways than what a lot of you people acknowledge. In fact, a lot of people out there hate him because he's not Hillary Clinton. He's not a politician. That's what I wanted about him. In fact, I, there was actually a member of the Beatles, John Lennon, who said the only thing that's going to save this country is a businessman. And there he is. Oh, and did you know John Lennon was a socialist? Yes. So even a socialist said that. Yeah. I'm very happy with that. Anyway, as we know, Donald Trump signed an executive order after being fact checked on something he said, which is true, talking about the mail-in ballots. Now, there's a lot of you out there talk about these mail-in ballots. There's no history about them going wrong. Bullshit. Google it. I know people. I've seen it. I've seen how crooked this can get. Now, they got this idea that the Democrats do, Democrat Party, not Democrats in general, just the ones in who think they're in control. want us to do mail-in ballots. They have been sending out all kinds of things to dead people. In California alone, 112% of the population, yes, I said 112% of the population got got ballots, for the primaries. This is the problem. States do not clean their voters' rolls, so they get more ballots in than were needed, and are being filled out. There's even people who come forward and said that a person coming and farming ballots was. I told them, don't worry, we'll fill it out for you. Yeah. I just want to say on this part, if you can go to the grocery store, you can stand in line to vote. Okay? I plan on it. Excuse me. Not a corona cough. I take lisinopril. Um, Now, Twitfaced has been really bad about shadow banning outright, censoring, taking away away posts, and totally erasing people's existence on their platform. Just because they say something that is something that they're not agreeing with. Now, we all know that Twitfaced have a very strong political agenda. We all know this. Deny it all you want. Denying it doesn't make it true. Now, how am I going to put this? I'm just going to be flat out honest with you guys. I'm fucking ecstatic about it. I'm fucking ecstatic that they're being caught up in their bullshit. Now, the thing is, there's social platforms. Okay, yes, we have rules we have to follow. Okay, just because they're a social platform doesn't mean they can tell you what to think. They are sent. Them banning you, telling you what to think, fact checking everything you do. And believe me, when I get fact checked, I go back against the fact checker and prove them wrong. I'm notorious for this. They tell you what you can say, what you can't say. They have censored right wing anything on Twitfaced, but they'll push any kind of democratic agenda. Anything to make Republicans make the right wing look bad. Now, just because I'm right wing doesn't make me such a horrible person. I am a very kind person. I will help you if you need help. If you want help, you gotta find me. But I'm not going to volunteer myself unless you need it. Okay. Now, Facebook, Twitfaced, hates people like me. They hate me with a passion because I'll catch them up in their bullshit and let everybody know. They don't like me. They are social media platforms who are operating as publishing platforms. You can't have both. They are two different licensing agreements, two different government regulations, two different ways of doing things. Twitfaced wants to say they're a social media platform, but they want to treat you like you're dealing with a publishing platform. They're like I said, social media, publishing, two different things, two different ways of doing things, two different sets of rules. So far, they've broken every rule there is. Okay, now they're a publishing platform. You're telling you. I know you're saying, well, they can do what they want to. It's theirs. Yes, to a point. They've gone past that point. They have burned that point to the ground. Now, if they're a publishing platform, why aren't they charging you for being members? If they were charging you for being members, they are charging you for the service of being on there. You're on there for free. They should not have control over you according to the law. According to the law, they have no control over what you say unless you are being violent, unless you are threatening people, unless you're on there being lewd in a family setting. Then they could do something. If you sit there and tell the truth about something, or tell something the way you see it, and then they want to shadow ban you outright, block you, get you off of there for good, that is illegal. That is censorship. That is what a publishing platform does, not a social media platform. Now, I'm all for this. I'm ecstatic they're being caught up in their bullshit. Oh God, I'm ecstatic. I heard about this. I heard about the executive order. Instant Woodrow. Believe me. But, and there's always a but in a situation like this, this sets some really weird legal precedents here. Now, Nancy Pelosi has been quoted saying that the government needs to regulate social media. They need to say what can be on there, what can't be on there. Trump just did. And now the left are howling. They are throwing a fit about this. They're saying it's not fair. They're going to sue. My God, the left has sued so many people. If something happens they don't like, they can't stop. We're going to sue. Good. Sue. Because there is a legal obligation that Twitfaced has that they have not held up their end of this. They have never held up their end of this. Social media is rife with leftist ideology. Now, the funny thing is, Twitfaced is having a hard time dealing with all of this. They do this they don't like being caught up in their bullshit. They have never liked it. But they'll catch you up in yours in a heartbeat. They will do all of this crap to you. Funny thing is, MeWe, Minds, Gab, USA Live, Uncensored Voice, none of them do this to you. You have freedom. Twitfaced, they don't want you having freedom. They want to dictate to you what you can do, what you can say, and what you can think. They want to inundate you with all of this bullshit. Twitfaced have always stolen your ID. They've always taken all of your information, and they'll give it away or sell it to somebody, and then turn around and say, "Oh, we had a data breach." You know, as secure as as Twitfaced is, how do they get so many data breaches? How? Ask yourself that. Now, I'm not a computer engineer by any means. I don't care to be. I am not. That's not my job. But it brings up a lot of questions in their security. If their security is that bad, why do they even have that same security today that they had 5 years ago? So, I can sit here and tell you the pros and cons of this whole matter. I am very happy they're being caught up in their bullshit. I do believe Donald Trump had this set up to catch them up and to catch them up in their antics. He said he did. He said before he was going to do something about this. They decided to censor him, fact check his own words, using. The fact checkers right now, I don't trust a single one because they've all got their own agenda. Snopes has their own agenda. You people want to believe Snopes? It's ran by people paid by George Soros, a man and a woman. Well, a man and two women. His wife and a hooker that he left his wife for, and his wife still lives with him, and their cat. And they've said before they are ardent leftists. They're not unbiased. The fact checkers that Twitfaced are using are very, very, very biased. I have proven that before on Twitfaced. I've proven that a few hundred times just in the past year. Especially here lately, they start fact checking everybody. Their fact checkers have been wrong. All you got to do is research it just a little bit. The thing you do when you go and you look up something and you try to find what's going on. It's called research. Try it sometime, folks. I do it all the time. Now, be it as it may, whichever side of the argument you're on, you're for it or against it, I am going to say one thing about it. This is what people like me call entertainment. Okay? I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch. I'm going to let this develop some more. Right now, the president's fully within his right to do this, to sign that executive order. They wanted to fact check something he said that he knows he said. They said he didn't say it. He said something else. And he turned around within 2 days and signed an executive order. Twitter stock is dropping. Facebook stock is taking a hit. Twitfaced is finally being caught up in their own bullshit. Now, I've said before, 5 years ago, I said they will not exist very much longer. Well, it turns out I was wrong, and I'll be the first to tell you when I'm wrong. Right now, I'm not going to say that they're going to go down, but I will say that something will happen. Something is going to happen. Now, on to the next thing. I live in the Atlanta area. Last night, there were some pretty serious riots here, just like there was in Houston, just like there was in Minneapolis, like here, there, and everywhere else. It's funny how this gets organized, isn't it? Now, today I had to actually do some research. I had to hear from some people. I had to have some questions answered. Yesterday, the riots started over, well, let me explain. Not riots, the protest. The actual, honest to goodness protest started at Olympic Centennial Park. There on Marietta Street between the Olympic Centennial Park and the CNN Center. It started at 3 o'clock yesterday. 4 o'clock, another group showed up. They separated themselves. They were anywhere from 300 to 500 yards away. They were moving around a lot. They were agitating the whole situation. When the protesters were starting to leave, this is now what I was told by the police, by law enforcement. When the actual protesters started to leave, the agitators started what they do best, throwing a shit fit, being immature little punks. 12 police cars, last I heard, were burned. The CNN Center was vandalized. People broke in, broke the glass windows, got in, pretty much messed the place up. The Football Hall of Fame was vandalized. Memorabilia was destroyed and stolen. Several businesses were broken into. Now, Minneapolis burned. Houston last night had the same thing happen, about the same way. From what I understand, they called out the militia. People are throwing a fit about this. Well, they shouldn't call out the militia. They were just protesters. No, they were acting as as homegrown terrorists. They were destroying personal property of people who had nothing to do with Floyd's death. I'll be the first to tell you, this cop and the others are with him when it happened. They need to be burned at the stake. And the person who took the pictures and the video, who did nothing, I'm finding them a little bit guilty too. Sitting there being silent during a crime, knowing a crime is happening, you're complicit also. Now, all these people want to sit there and tell me that, okay, well, they have a right to protest. Yes, you have a right to protest. You don't have a right to go and destroy, personal property, private property. You don't have a right to throw knives at the police, try to set places on fire, burn down entire sections of cities, take over an interstate, trying to pull people out of their cars. You don't have a right to that. That's a crime. This has just made the entire the murder a joke. This whole thing has. First, we had coronavirus. That's quit working. Nobody's afraid of that anymore. We found the bullshit inherent in everything the media was saying, what the Democrats, in power were saying. Then murder hornets. I'd like to think I helped debunk that bullshit. The Kawasaki syndrome. It's linked to coronavirus. No, it wasn't. There are a lot of children who got it who never had coronavirus. In fact, it's from what I understand right now, they're theorizing, and there is very good evidence, it's linked to childhood inoculations. None of that's working. So let's start a race war. I won't say why I'm saying that. Last night, those that were arrested here in Atlanta were bussed in from other states. And Antifa, a member of Antifa, at least one, was arrested. In Houston, the same thing. Minneapolis, the same thing. In fact, the ones here, several that were arrested were wearing earpieces, taking direction. They were taking directions from somebody. And I have a funny feeling that these people have been found out. So, I'm not happy with the protests because your protesting police departments have nothing to do with this. And I've always said, there's a lot of good cops out there. I know a lot of good cops. But there's a handful of bad ones. Give the good ones a bad name. Back in 2007, in Poto, Oklahoma, on Dewey Avenue, just right over the next to the parking lot between Poto Pets and a convenience store. I forgot the name of it. Uh, I was walking down the street. I was carrying 1 gallon gas can. I had a 1993 Jeep Wrangler. That the gas, a typical design flaw. The gas gauge didn't work. I want to explain all of this to you so you understand. The gas gauge didn't work. Ran out of gas, and I right there on Dewey Avenue. I just happened to be able to roll into the parking lot into a parking space. Got out of my Jeep, got a 1 gallon gas can, walk up to the convenience store, get a gallon of gas, put it in my gas tank so I can go to the filling station and fill my tank. I am halfway between Poto Pets and the convenience store when two of Poto's finest, Poto City Police, pulled up. A black man and a white man, both. They come out and beat me to the ground. I'm not talking just beating, I'm talking ass kicking with nightsticks. One of the worst beatings I ever got, and I was a professional wrestler. One of the worst beatings I ever got. Exact words: "You long-haired hippies need to get out of my town." Yeah. Now, I can sit here and tell you, all cops are like that, but they're not. Alan Rothery on Twitfaced. Tina Andrews on Twitfaced. Very good people. In fact, me and Tina Andrews are pretty good friends. All she has to do is call me up saying, "I need your help," and I'll be there. Alan Rothery, we got a lot in common. Very nice guy. Here in my local police here, very good people. When my condominium got broken into, they were there doing everything they could. In fact, the detective who was a very nice guy. We spoke on several occasions. The police have actually recognized me on the street, wave at me. We talk. We're friends. I'm not going to blame all the cops for me getting beat down by two yahoo small town piece of shit wannabes trying to make a name for themselves, trying to feel tough. Yeah, I'd like to get them, bring them here to Atlanta, drop them in South Fulton, see how long they last before they're eaten alive. So why blame all cops for what a small handful do? The police are like everybody else, like every other group of people. You got some damn decent ones, you got some good ones, you got some fair ones, and you got that small group of total trash that gives everybody else a bad name. One of the people that were arrested last night here in Atlanta was a white male wearing a hoodie and a black bandana. He was a member of Antifa. Antifa were paid to do a lot of things in the past. Get this light going. I got to get some real lighting. Antifa, I was wondering what would happen to them little darlings. Well, turns out that something did come out last night after an arrest when somebody's being booked. They gave information. They were paid. They were paid to do what they did. They were bussed in from other states. They were not from here. Same thing with Minneapolis. The ones that burnt part of Minneapolis down, the ones that were arrested involved in this, weren't from Minnesota. They were from out of state and they were bussed in. Same thing with Houston, Texas. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, folks. Coronavirus didn't work. Murder hornets didn't work. Kawasaki syndrome didn't work. Let's start a race riot. This is all to destroy this country, people. They're trying to discredit a sitting president, and it's coming out. The people behind this are not as sneaky or as good as they think they are. When you have people rioting with little things in their ears, giving them, little speaker, the earplugs, like you get, with your Bluetooth, give them instructions of where to go and what to do. This was organized. These people admitted to being paid. Who's paying them? Who organized it? We'll tell you this right now. The one that did admit to being Antifa said it was a part of the organizing was done on Facebook, and Twitter. So Facebook and Twitter are involved in the riots now. Yeah, please Zuckerberg and whoever owns Twitter, please explain yourselves. If you go on Facebook, Twitter both, you can find all kinds of Antifa pages. You find all kinds of pages saying "Death to America." They are organizing things on these two media platforms, but they want to censor me. They want to censor you. I know a lot of people on Facebook that have been banned for good. Everything their pages taken down, all because they told the truth. But you have terrorist organizations like the New Black Panthers, Antifa, ISIS. They use these social media platforms to organize their bullshit. And Facebook and Twitter allow it. So make up your minds. Think what you will. I don't care. Like I said, this is entertainment for me. Anyway, guys, I'm going to come back and wait for some more things to develop. There'll be some, see what's going to be happening over the next several days. And I'll be back with this. This is very interesting for me. And I hope it's interesting for you guys. I'll talk to you guys probably in a few days. Take care of one another. And always talk hard. Later.